Oh, and welcome back to my channel. So we have this TikToker who's receiving so much the opposite of love for saying that we should turn our blind eye on what is happening in Palestine. This guy has put himself under a lot of hot soup for this. This guy wants us to turn off our internet so that we don't get to see what they're about to do to the Palestinians. Shout out to the person who screen recorded this video because we wouldn't have known about this. Let's watch this video and then we are going to talk.
And let's stay off social media for the rest of the weekend, checking in when we need to. But remember, when you see really dangerous, scary stuff, you are not required to watch it. Stay safe, and I will see you in the morning.
You're right. Let's just turn off social media right now and ignore what is happening, right? Wow. Just wow. The privilege of just being able to turn your phone off and just check out. Anyone who just checks out of social media this week because of what is happening in Palestine, you are just as worse. And yes, on this channel, we do not promote bullying or any form of violence. Now that I've let that out of my chest, let's watch the stitches. Let's watch what other real humans had to say in response to this video. Let's get into it.
No. Imagine if there were phones in the 1800s, social media to the point where we could see the atrocities of slavery. Would you tell us to get off our phones then? Imagine if there were phones in the 1940s where we could see the atrocities of the Holocaust. Would you tell us to get off our phones then? Imagine if there were phones in 1921 or 1919 or 1915 when black communities were being burned to the ground by white supremacists. Would you tell us to get off our phones then? Imagine if there were phones in the 1960s and the 1970s where we could watch a bomb being dropped on behalf of the U.S. government in Vietnam every 5 seconds. Would you tell us to get off our phones then? We are privileged to be able to sit here and watch what's happening in Palestine from afar. And years from now, we will look back and we will be judged how we reacted in this moment. The United States government, the Israeli government, and everybody that supports them wants us to stay off our phones this weekend. But the least we can do is to continue to spread awareness and keep our foots on the necks of the people who don't want us to see what's going on. That's the least we owe the people of Palestine.
But remember,
no, because to do so is a privilege. A privilege that millions of people who are experiencing the harm cannot do. It is our responsibility to watch, to pay attention, to hold those who commit such atrocities accountable. The idea that we should feel the comfort and the privilege to turn it off or to turn a blind eye as people are experiencing an ethnic cleansing in 2023 right before our very eyes. To not pay attention, to turn it off, will only embolden those committing the oppression. Look what they have done when the entire world is watching them. Imagine what they'll do when we're not. I know for many of you, this is hard for you to reconcile, but this is not about you, and this is not about your comfort. People are losing their lives, their livelihoods, their homes, their history, their culture. They're forced to live in an open-air prison under military assault by the local government, as well as the backing and support of another global leader, the United States, which many of us are citizens of. So we have to do our part here in the United States by holding our government accountable for participating, not just being complacent, but being an accomplice to mass murder and genocide. So no, don't turn it off and don't turn away, because at the very least you can do is sit with the reality of what our government is doing with our tax dollars and decide on if this is something you can live with. And if you can't, do something.
checking in when we need to, but remember, when you see really...
It is extremely insensitive that when a genocide is going on right around the corner, to tell people it's okay to not watch. It's okay to turn off social media. Let's turn off our social media for the weekend. We don't want you having to see it. You don't have to look at it. It's okay. I want you to pay attention. They're saying the quiet part out loud. They are saying the quiet part out loud. This is how colonization works. You get people used to the chaos and just make them get quiet to it. You make people ignore it and go numb. This is very dangerous. As we speak, children are being unalived. Innocent children that have nothing to do with this. Innocent civilians. What they're basically saying is, it's okay. We're gonna do the dirty part. You enjoy your weekend. Go watch some TV, hang out with your friends, pretend this isn't happening, and we'll take care of it. Can't believe in 2023. I'm disgusted.
Checking in when we need to?
No. Absolutely not. This is an example why. The only 3 Muslim anchors on MSNBC have been sidelined. Any hopes we had of The coverage of what's happening in Gaza being objective, it's gone. Anderson Cooper, who at one point I thought was a voice of reason in CNN, has barely mentioned Palestine. The whole time he's been in Israel covering this conflict, if at all. That's why we should not stay off of social media this weekend, because something big is obviously, aside from the horrific events of this whole week, something big is about to happen. Because you see, this is a convoy of Palestinians trying to get to the south of Gaza, just like the Israeli government told them to, and they were bombed while trying to get there through the road that the Israeli government told them to take. So you see, the Western media is not covering this. So it's pretty much up to social media users like me and you to share this information so the world knows exactly what's going on. But I do hope you have a great weekend.
If you can, let's stay off social media for the rest of the weekend, checking in when we need to.
No. This absolutely not. And I can't believe you even call this news at this point, because you are telling people to essentially ignore what is going on so that their comfortability is more important than the people's lives. This is another mechanism of dehumanization alongside American propaganda, whether you know it or not. And this is also contributes to the anti-intellectualism that has people not even understanding why there is a Palestine and an apartheid state today. It is our responsibility to understand what is going on. It is our responsibility to deconstruct and also ask deeper questions about how the West has allowed this to continue so long, that a right-wing prime minister is in charge of a state that is giving the okay to drop bombs on children and corralling people into parts of Gaza that they literally have no place to go, while also telling them to evacuate. This is a genocide, and you are telling people that their comfortability in their homes, that have water, that have food, that have shelter over their head, which they can talk to their families, is more important than people's lives. This is not journalism, and this is absolutely disgusting that people will sit here in those comments and say, oh, thank you, it's making my stomach hurt. You fucking have a stomach that can hurt. That is the harsh reality we are in right now. It is our responsibility to learn and understand. There are folks on this app reporting day and night on the ground there as much as they can, providing resources and references, asking people to do the interrogation so that we can understand why, and that realizing this shit will come for you next when you are complicit and allow the dehumanization of others. Y'all better keep y'all asses on the news. You better start asking deeper questions. And don't you ever let somebody tell you that your comfortability is more important than somebody else's life. This is not news. This is fucking propaganda.
A really difficult week. Let's stay off social media for the rest of the weekend.
Yes, it has been a very difficult week for all of us that get to sit down in the comfort and safety of our own homes. You should be ashamed to call yourself a news outlet. Aren't you supposed to be here giving us unbiased opinions and real-time news? You're quite the joke.
So stop me if you've seen this before, like doing South African apartheid. But what does the intersectionality of white fragility and colonizer privilege look like in the face of a modern day apartheid? Under the Desk News decided she would give us an example.
Really difficult week. I'm really grateful to have been here with you. If you can, let's stay off social media for the rest of the weekend, checking in when we need to. But remember, when you see really dangerous, scary stuff, you are not required to watch it. Stay safe, and I will see you in the morning.
This is one of the main reasons I do not do allies, only accomplices. Because allies get to go home whenever they feel like it. An ally gets to watch from behind their position of privilege and are not touched by the day-to-day existence of danger for marginalized groups of people. We are watching a modern-day apartheid take place, and your best advice is to basically tell us it's not happening at your doorstep, so you should just turn away.
For the rest of the weekend, checking in when we need to, but remember...
This video was actually insane. okay? Telling people to fucking turn their eyes away from the genocide that Israel is committing against the Palestinian people, and then at the same time being one of these fucking life and death and love and birth and peace and love on the planet Earth, Steven Universe ass niggas, because Hamas attacked Israel, but you was quiet as a fucking church mouse when Israel was committing the same and even worse atrocities against the Palestinian people. Like this shit is nuts. Now listen, I don't believe in God, right? But if you do, if y'all do, if y'all believe there's a heaven and a hell, oh, best believe Western media is burning in hell forever. Forever. Like this shit, what we've been seeing from Western media, it is like, it's comically ridiculous, dude.
Okay, so I'm sure most of you are asking or wondering why this guy's TikTok account is still around. Like, why isn't it banned yet? Here's why. It was about to get banned, but it won't. Because y'all guys remember when the TikTok app was almost getting banned in the US, right? He was one of the people who stood by it, like with over 3 million followers on TikTok. He's got that influence. I don't know why I keep saying he or she. Okay, she helped save the TikTok app. I hope that makes sense. So this is more like a scratch my back, I'm gonna scratch yours kind of arrangement. Okay, so and here's my response to her video. We are not going to turn a blind eye on this. We are not gonna turn off our internet. And I'm trying to wrap my head on this. Like, was she really serious when she was saying these things? These people are saying their goodbyes right in front of our eyes, and this woman wants us to turn social media off. I can't do this. Like, I can't, guys. Let me just go ahead. This is getting me emotional. Let me go ahead and read some of the comments that came under this video. Okay, so this one says, I'm white and I'm noticing it's white voices telling people to avert their eyes from the violence against brown people. I haven't stopped looking. And this other one reads, look away is exactly what my history teacher begged me and my peers not to do. And this one says, you are absolutely right. This post has inspired me to take action instead of putting my head in the sand. I have donated, but I want to do more. And this other one reads, her reporting has been pretty disappointing. And this one says, I've been having full on panic attacks. I still refuse to look away. If this is doing this to us in our homes, think what the Palestinians go through. And this other one reads, if there is anything we can do to refuse to look away and to remember this. You guys, let me know what you think about this video, the comments, in the comments section below. And I will definitely see you in my next video. Like, I've got so much to say on this, just that I am limited. I cannot use certain words on this app. Otherwise, I am gonna be in so much trouble with YouTube. So guys, please go ahead. Your comments are allowed. Make sure you leave them in the comments section below, and subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed already. And I will definitely see you in my next video. Stay peaceful.